Christmas when arousal hits a wall. Nerdrotic.com.
It sucks we got Blue Ball in season 2, and it sucks like kind of the reasons behind it, which all you can judge is what's out. But when you find out that it was during the writer's strike and they said, okay, you can only have 8 episodes, but they couldn't rewrite anything. It's a shit show, but all you can do is judge what's out for what's out. And it sucks that we had to wait to get the actual season finale until season 3, which is retarded.
Yeah.
And I mean, is it going to be front loaded? That's the question too, right? Are they going to kind of blow their wad with the Battle of the Gullet?
I think that's good for a series. I think you want your start and your end to be your biggest things. Right? A lot of things, they start slow, don't get the viewers, nobody gives them more of a chance, and then it gets best at the end. It's the wrong way to do a series.
But yeah, it's like when we went from season 1 to season 2, a lot of people thought season 2 was going to start off pretty intense because end of season 1, you get the Rhaenyra shot where it's like, oh shit, she's going to go completely unhinged, and then they lost that momentum in season 2.
I think it would be viewed in a different perspective if you did have the Battle of the Gullet to cap off the season.
Yes.
But because we don't get that, you get nothing that seemed to be promised to you at the end of season 1, which is understandable why people feel let down. Obviously, there's a lot of snippets there with some very interesting shit. Looks like Vagar burning a bunch of people at Harrenhal,
awesome.
Which sets up some really interesting things that we know is going to happen. Bro, get to see Tessarion.
And Allison's reaction, I'm pretty sure I know what that's from.
Probably. The Battle of the Gullet, so the sea battle that you kind of saw going on there, that is a massive, massive battle that has huge implications.
It does, yeah.
And I think we're going to be seeing that in the first or second episode. Like, that is going to kick off this thing and kickstart this thing. There's going to be a lot of battle. There's going to be a lot of dragons. There's going to be a lot of death. I think we saw some of Corliss's reaction looking into the sea, maybe looking at somebody or looking for someone that he thinks may have died. That could be pretty big. Overall, I mean, I don't think it's a great trailer. I think it's a fine trailer.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I definitely don't think that it was like earth-shattering, momentous, amazing. And the people on social media who are saying that, I think, are just, in part, very tired of a lot of the slop we've gotten. So they're giving it more of a chance and like more of an opportunity and almost trying to convince themselves that they're more excited for it. But I guess we'll have to see when the season actually comes out, because there might still be that major divide between the fan base.
It certainly doesn't help that George R. Martin said, "This isn't my show anymore." Right,
that does not help it.
Comes out.
Oh no.
Oh, dude.
Wow. We've talked about this before. Look, George will eventually have a falling out with Ira Parker, and he'll say the same thing. George has had falling outs with basically anyone he's had professional relationships with that just don't do everything he says or does. That's just the way George works.
Exactly.
Obviously, there are way bigger changes in House of the Dragon than we're seeing in the Dunk and Egg stories. At the same time, I think adapting Dunk and Egg is a way easier thing to do than to adapt 25 pages from Fire and Blood.
Right, because it's just a very small novella where they can basically fill the episodes with just one-to-one recreations, whereas they definitely can't do that in House of the Dragon because there's so much to adapt.
Yeah, there's no real dialogue, and the people who provided dialogue, like leaving Mushroom out is a fucking huge mistake.
It is.
Like, and the reason they left him out is because they thought he would be too much like Tyrion. Who gives a shit? He would have provided levity that would have been genuinely funny. And that's the one complaint I'll completely understand and kind of feel the same way, as there is no levity unless when Damon's just being a complete fucking asshole, which I love. And if you want to see a bunch of bad people die, there's like, dude, that's Breaking Bad is that show. Like a bunch of hit shows have a bunch of horrible people. That's fine. The problem is where you end it. So without giving anything away, it's written like a history. So it goes on and on and on, and the true end doesn't really happen for weeks. And
to be clear, the ending of Fire and Blood is not even done yet. So the book is called Fire and Blood. It is the history of the Targaryens in Westeros, and it is only half complete. There's Fire and Blood Part 2 still to come out. This is a 25-page section of it.
It's a Dance of the Dragons.
Yeah, the Dance of Dragons, but the story just kind of goes on and on and on.
It just goes into the next part, right?
Yes.
But there's no like, boom.
Right.
Like,
so they are going to have to decide exactly where it ends.
oh, they're going to have to like cut out a bunch of shit. They're going to,
Absolutely.
because Allison isn't really in the fucking story from here on.
No, they've just added her as like this filler character to have another woman in a potential position of power.
Yep. And Rhaenyra is fat and not really around that much because not in the battles. So we're going to get the Battle of the Gullet in the beginning and Tumbleton, right? At least the first one. There's two. So, which are both pretty brutal. So it'll be bookended, right, with a couple of battles, which people like, but they really need to get you back into those character moments. Now, I know a lot of people were critical of like Damon's trippy time at Harrenhal, but there was actually stuff I liked.
I love that.
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I liked about it, including seeing the Green Men. I know some of the lore guys were like, no, and I'm like, no, it's fucking cool.
I loved, like, I couldn't believe we saw a Green Man. That was so fucking random.
Yeah,
but I did like a lot of the dreams and stuff that he went through and all that, and some of the characters that were important in that are going to come back.
And these are things George told Ryan Condell. So George, as we established last week with Dex spilling, George will sit down with actors and writers to give you context of a character that's not in the book yet, or that's just going to end up in a history book. The biggest one of all was, why Aegon conquered Westeros in the first place was because of the prophecy. Now, including the knife about that, we can argue about that, but that's something we really didn't know. But that's why the Targaryens go so fucking crazy, is they have these dragon dreams. And the ones who are aware of this prophecy are thinking every time winter rolls around, the world's going to end.
A lot of people get these things and see these things, and like every prophecy in George's stories, they eventually come true, but often not in the way that you think. So, Rhaegar was obsessed with the Prince Who Was Promised prophecy and all these things. And you know what? Maybe a lot of the events that Rhaegar set into motion will indeed save everyone, but it's just not the way he expected it to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just a period of time that repeats and repeats and repeats. The, Daeron's vision in A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, you might think that has come true. It hasn't come true yet. That's still going to come true later in a much different way than he expected, which is kind of the case. In the case of Viserys got obsessed with his dream of, having a son. And that's why he wanted that. He desperately thought he saw a vision of him having a son, and he wanted a son. And that's why he had another wife with Emma, even though he knew it was going to be dangerous and he knew her body might not hold up, and she ends up dying. Then Alicent comes along, put in there basically fucking Otto Hightower is kind of like the Epstein, just providing young girls to King Viserys. And then he ends up having that son. I think a lot of the stuff that's done in House of Dragon season 1 is really, really good.
Yep.
And the reason I think that is because unlike the adaptations of Game of Thrones and Night of the Seven Kingdoms, there is no real dialogue to pull from. There's a lot of things that they created themselves that they put in.
You are relying on good writers trying to create this dialogue, and unfortunately, we know how that usually goes. Sometimes the dialogue's hit, but a lot of cases it's missed.
And there was chaos behind the scenes too. Miguel Sapochnik, who was heavily involved with season 1 and a partner of Condell, they originally wanted to do a Conan series. Like insisted his wife become a producer, and they wouldn't do it.
Right.
So they ran him off, and it's like, oh shit. And then George got pissed. What Gorgon of Old Gits once said about prophecy, Brian, it's like a treacherous woman. She takes your member in her mouth and you moan with pleasure and you think how sweet, how fine, how good it is. And then her teeth snap shut and your moans turn to screams. Prophecy will bite your prick off every time.
Is that Marwyn the Mage?
That's Marwyn the Mage.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, there's so many characters we have so little like reference point for, like understanding of what they're truly going to do or going to be or whatever.
Leaving Marwyn the Mage out of Game of Thrones is fucking insane. Like there's, in my video I was bitching about all the characters left out of Harry Potter. It's like the list of characters that Game of Thrones left out from the books is 30 deep.
My number one was Lady Stoneheart. I was always so heartbroken over that, because that dynamic between her and, if we ever get the next book, a resurrected Jon would be amazing.
He's going to get resurrected. That got spoiled in the article. I think everybody knew it was going to happen. Yeah. And why would you have one of the reasons Dan and Dave got the job is they knew R plus L equals J. So why would you have, Rhaegar and Lyanna having Jon as a kid and then just fucking kill him? When that is the prophecy. It's part of the prophecy because it's going to be both Daenerys and Jon. With the prophecy of Azor Ahai in the book series that will never finish, ever finish. That's why
the question is, if the dragon must have 3 heads, Gary,
who's the third head?
Who's the third head of that?
A lot of people want it to be Tyrion.
Is Tyrion a secret Targaryen? Is Tyrion secretly the illegitimate child of Tywin Lannister's wife and Mad King Aerys?
Well, we might find out in a play that will come out, or tickets go on sale in April. Game of Thrones, The Mad King, playing at the Shakespeare Theater. So I'm guessing it's not like a West End musical. It's going to be just a play about the tournament at Harrenhal, which leads to Robert's Rebellion. And I think we're going to get a huge lore dump on this. And yeah, I'm fucking going. So
going. I'm so excited for it.
Me and Ryan are going to go and check it out. And this is the only shit we're going to get. So like when Dex is out there spoiling shit, it's like, this is all we get. And fuck George. Like, seriously, I'm with you on that one. Fuck George. He's led on his audience. He's only led on his audience to keep making money. He's not ever going to write Wins a Winner. And the only thing he does owe his audience, he doesn't owe him a finished book. Oh, you would think so. The only thing he truly owes his audience is honesty. And just coming out and saying, I can't fucking finish.
That's what's such a shame about this whole situation is I think most fans can understand that he's older now, right? Yeah. He's spread thin. He's got all these other ideas and projects that he's doing. If he just came out and was honest and said, listen, I am slowly writing it, but it's not going to be published anytime soon or at all, potentially. People would be upset initially, but if he had done it 5 years ago, people would have been like, you know what? Okay, I can understand it. But now he's backed himself into a corner.
I think he does either owe them a book or to choose someone else that will finish the series. I think when you start a big series, you do owe it to the audience to finish it.
I'm talking to like the baseline of what he truly owes people is honesty. Now, I would also argue swallow your fucking pride like you swallow shit from the fridge and then supervise Ty Frank or Dan Abrams to write it. I'm sure there's a bunch of writers who would volunteer who would be good for the job. Will it be as good as his? No, but he'll be there. Just map it out and then walk away. Like once you
map it out and let it go.
And let it fucking go because he'll fuck with them all the time. So and why not? Why not? If you want your legacy, if that's what you give a shit about, your legacy will be you never finish this fucking book. That's what you'll be remembered for.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. I think that's his attitude. And so he doesn't care about his legacy or the future. He cares about living the best thing he can now. When he's dead, he's just worm food. And who cares about that? So he's just trying to drag it on until he's dead. That's what I think he's going for.
Ultimately, it's selfish. And I know the George Glazers out there will go, he's a human being. He's a very fucking rich human being from a lot of other human beings who gave him fucking money. And it's not like we're asking him to go into the fucking salt mines. We're asking him to finish a book, dude.
Get on your stupid fucking MS-DOS computer and finish this shit.
Could someone do it after he dies, or would that not be allowed?
Well, if he gave permission,
right? If there was permission.
Yeah, I think if his wife,
correct. If the people who control his
what
estate,
happened with Robert Jordan.
Right.
Yeah, he initially didn't want someone to finish Wheel of Time, and he changed his mind close to his death.
Yes.
Yeah, so George can map stuff out. Fire and Blood was stuff that was there, but he added a ton, and he did it pretty quick. So you can map out some world building pretty quick.
I think that one of the great ironies about A Song of Ice and Fire and the amount of theory videos or lore breakdowns or predictive stuff that I watch is obscene. And there are a lot of very healthy channels that still make A Song of Ice and Fire content weekly, daily, all the time. The great irony is that one of the reasons it's so prolific and people are so interested in discussing so much about it is because so many questions remain unanswered. because we don't have the books. It's actually like a really strange phenomenon that one of the reasons it's so interesting to talk about is because we don't have finality, because anything truly could still be possible and nothing's been ruled out.
Right. There are some insane theories out there because people have been speculating for so long at this point. Like I see people speculating that, the Mad King wanted it to put the wildfire and burn everybody because he had a dragon dream that the walkers were going to be in King's Landing and he was going to blow them up. Chill out, guys.
Hold on. I actually love that theory.
I like the theory, but is that what he was clearly going for? I don't think there's any.
I love the theory.
Any basis to that.
Bloodraven or Bran or somebody like that, in a desperate effort to prepare King's Landing for the coming of the White Walkers, like because hey, we need wildfire, and they tried to go back in time and fucking make somebody do something, just like what happened with Hodor or whatever.
Right.
They tried to go back and control someone's mind, and it just caused them to go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And the Hodor thing happens in the book,
well,
so they'll be doing the time looping in the book, and I think there's something to that. Also, that Dunk survived Summerhall. Where'd he go? Did he go to the
Cold
wall?
Hands.
Was he Cold Hands?
Scrap One Ron or Scraptron says Hot Pie is the Shrouded Lord. Could be.
Let's fucking go.
Hot Pie is the Shrouded Lord.
The Shrouded Lord he would grant a boon to anybody who made him laugh.
I think it's Garyon Lannister.
Yep.
We'd love to laugh.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.